Shiki, the Golden Lion. Topic of a lot of conversations recently because of Oda and how Oda does things in the chapters, so we gotta talk about him. But he's the most, probably, one of the more underrated pirates in One Piece, just considering people have seen the movie and we haven't seen a lot of Shiki in the canon story. But he is truly, literally one of the legends of One Piece. Like, he's up there, okay, I don't want to put him up there with Roger and Garp and Whitebeard, but he genuinely is. Like, he is one of those guys. He's a legendary pirate, even though he's not the most likable, right? People call him the kid of his generation. That might be excessive, but he's legendary, right? Because he's a former core member of the Rocks Pirates, a direct rival to Goldie Roger, and the first person ever to escape Impel Down. And he fought Garp and Sengoku by himself, destroyed half Marineford, did a lot of damage, fought Roger. I mean, you know, the weather saved him, presumably, but Shiki's reputation is nothing short of legendary. Yet, for all of this notoriety, right, Shiki has been strangely absent from the current era, raising one big question: where is Shiki? Like, could Shiki be the man marked by flames? If you think about it, Oda has dropped a lot of hints. First, he's a legend from Roger's era and he has a lot of knowledge and power, but we still haven't really seen him do anything in the current era. If he really is the mysterious man marked by flames, then he is the key to the One Piece. Shiki's history is laced with a lot of mysteries, right? Making him a compelling candidate for this figure, in my opinion. But to understand why Shiki can be the man marked by flames, we need to deep dive into the lore of Shiki and the trail of breadcrumbs Oda has kind of left behind. So first, let's get into Shiki's lore, okay? What do we know about Shiki in the manga, where his presence is felt despite his lack of screen time, okay? Shiki's introduction to One Piece begins with an extraordinary feat, fighting two, you can say, fleet admiral caliber guys at the same time. And this is literally one of the biggest feats in the story. Like, think about the confidence Shiki had when infiltrating Marineford by himself. And the interesting part is, he did all this in anger as Roger was said to be captured by the Marines, whom he considered a big shame since he considered Roger as a rival. So he was like, yo, y'all not gonna disrespect Roger's greatness like this. No way y'all did that. And then they proved to him that they did that, even though they really didn't do that. It's crazy. But even though Shiki obviously lost against Garp and Sengoku, like I said, he still managed to destroy half of Marineford in this fight, which goes to show just how terrifying his power is. Not only this, but in Chapter 0, we know Shiki becomes the first person ever to escape from Impel Down. His escape, though, wasn't just an act of desperation, but a demonstration of his sheer willpower as he cut off his own legs to break free from the Sea Stone shackles. And using his 4-4 no Mi, he flowed himself to freedom. Even Magellan, the prison's warden, acknowledged the brilliance of the escape, reinforcing Shiki's status as an unstoppable force. And again, everybody was running away from Magellan when we saw him in Impel Down. Like some Crocodile, Ivankov, Luffy, Jinbei. Multiple warlords did not want any smoke with Magellan, and Shiki managed to escape Impel Down. It is crazy. Now, this unfortunately was the last time Shiki appeared in the One Piece world. In Chapter 957, we get to see the Rocks Pirates connection. Shiki's roots trace back to the Rocks Pirates, one of, if not the most fearsome crew in the history of One Piece. Now, alongside Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, Shiki was part of that legendary band of pirates under the leadership of Rocks Beck. Now, as we all know, Rocks was defeated by Garp and Roger, and their captain, Rocks Beck, vanished alongside God Valley. Where did it go? Who knows? Now, the Rocks Pirates defeated God Valley and left a lot of questions unanswered, but since Shiki is one of the few people alive that was a part of that crew, he holds clues about the secrets of the world, including the road Poneglyphs, who was Rocks Beck, etc., etc. Now, this knowledge of Shiki is being underestimated by a lot of fans, and I know Oda has saved the last member of the Rocks Pirates for the final saga, and he's introducing different members here and there, but Shiki is somebody we really should start putting some more focus on. Though technically semi-canon, Chapter 0, a special one-shot by Oda, it reveals Shiki's heated rivalry with Goldie Roger. The Battle of Edwar, where Roger's small crew overcame Shiki's massive fleet, like I mentioned before, is a defining moment in Shiki's story. A sudden storm out of nowhere destroying Shiki's fleet, and that just left him humiliated, and it deeply scarred him, obviously. And Shiki, if he defeated Roger, his name would be etched in history. I mean, it already is, but on the wrong side of things, right? This battle showcased his ambition to dominate the seas and his resentment and respect toward Roger, since he wanted Roger to be part of his big plan. So he's one of those characters that was after world domination, and he's willing to recruit or join someone else to get that done. So he is, at his core, a menace. But now apparently this big plan Shiki had was revealed in the movie Strong World, which has a lot of canon and uncanon things. This movie in no way was completely uncanon though. A lot of information about Shiki was actually accurate, and I'm pretty sure the plan Shiki's working on after his escape from Impel Down is much bigger than what was shown in Strong World. Shiki's story is steeped in both chaos and mystery, in my opinion, making him a perfect candidate for a major comeback. Now let's try to finally connect the dots, okay? The man marked by flames, he's described as a mysterious figure who is said to have the final road Poneglyph, which is the key to reaching Laugh Tale. Now here are some things that I think would make Shiki a potential candidate. First, his will, right? Shiki's fiery personality is a defining trait. He's unrelenting, unrelenting, ruthless, and driven by ambition. Qualities that resonate with the imagery of flames, right? His escape from Impo Down, where he metaphorically walked through fire by cutting off his legs, could further cement this connection. But Shiki's connection to fire may not be literal flames, but rather the metaphorical burning of ambition, betrayal, and resilience. His character fits perfectly into the role of a hidden figure holding the keys to the world's greatest secrets. I can see it now. The title Man Marked by Flames could hint at a physical scar or injury. Shiki's many battles, including the Ed War and his encounters with the Marines, that may have left him with such a mark, or maybe he scarred himself as a way to double down and stand 10 toes with his ambitions. Now, his ties to the Rocks Pirates. This is the most important one, I think, because the Rocks Pirates is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, unresolved thread in One Piece. If Shiki possesses knowledge of Rocks' ambitions or secrets tied to the God Valley incident, it could make him indispensable to uncovering the road poneglyphs. His past, also with Rocks Zebek, might explain why he's been in hiding, avoiding the watchful eyes of the world government. Now, we can't talk about the Man Marked by Flames without talking about Shiki's ability. Now, Shiki's ability to manipulate floating islands gives him a unique edge in staying hidden. If he's living in isolation as he did during the events of Strong World, it would make sense why no one has ever found him. Also, the road poneglyph is not something small. It is a large piece of rock that few people could actually move, and the one that we're presuming is missing is the one in Fishman Island, and Shiki's one of the few people canonically with his powers who could do so rather easily. Now, as One Piece marches towards its climax, the Golden Lion could reemerge as a major force, shaking the world once more. How does Shiki fit into the endgame narrative? We know about his knowledge and his willingness to ally and even rivalries, right? But I think the most important thing that Shiki has in his arsenal is the knowledge of Zebek. If Zebek had any knowledge of the One Piece, the Void Century, or Laugh Tale, Shiki holds the key. And Shiki's hatred for the world government and his respect for Roger's legacy, that makes him a dominant, unpredictable wildcard. Think about it. If Shiki respected Roger so much, wouldn't he like Luffy? Would he try to ally with Luffy since Luffy's the Roger of this generation, or we presume so? His reappearance could bring crucial information about the Rocks Pirates defeated God Valley, or even Zebek's ambitions, providing Luffy and his crew with a new direction, or in worst case scenario, a new obstacle. But him trying to ally with Luffy would not be outside the realm of possibility, considering that he tried to ally with not only Roger, but also Whitebeard. So that's in his nature already. And we've seen in Elbaf, alliances are starting to form, and we see somebody that was trying to ally with Luffy and Loki. What if Shiki pulls up and he could try to ally with Loki? And I mentioned this before with Kid being like a wild card too. Those three teaming up could provide a very lethal obstacle for the Straw Hats. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention an obvious alliance that feels perfect. Blackbeard. Blackbeard's chaotic nature mirrors that of the Rocks Pirate, and his ambitions to overthrow the world government align with Shiki's hatred for the Marines. Imagine Shiki offering his floating islands and genetically enhanced beasts to Blackbeard, creating a mobile fortress capable of waging war on a global scale. I mean, together they could challenge not only the Straw Hats, but also the Revolutionary Army and the Marines. This alliance could also set the stage for one of One Piece's most intense battles. Maybe Shiki joins the Blackbeard Pirates and Oda could reintroduce Rayleigh with the Straw Hats, or maybe introduce Scopper to fight with the Straw Hats to combat Shiki. Who knows? But Shiki's involvement in the story just makes things more exciting. I mean, the Straw Hats, armed with Roger's will and determination, would face off against the combined forces of the two most dangerous pirates in history. Shiki's strategic genius and Blackbeard's overwhelming power could make this the most formidable opposition Luffy has ever faced and will ever face. I mean, Shiki did corner the Pirate King. Also, Shiki could be different now, right? That's why I mentioned Shiki liking Luffy as one of the possibilities, since Shiki's grudge against Roger could manifest as a challenge to Luffy, the man who carries Roger's will. In Shiki's eyes, Luffy could represent the same ideals that led to his humiliation during the Battle of the Ed War. A showdown between Luffy and Shiki would be more than a clash of just strength, right? It would be a battle of opposite philosophies. Shiki is the guy who's willing to ally with anyone, could be friend or foe, it's just about domination. And Luffy, of course, is about friendship and journey and destination. Shiki might also test whether Luffy's truly worthy of Roger's legacy, forcing Luffy to prove himself against one of the old era's greatest legends. Now, Shiki at this point, I don't think he can tussle with Luffy, but their fight could take place on one of Shiki's floating islands, giving an advantage to Shiki that could make things even more interesting. But Luffy, of course, I think, at this point, should be beyond Shiki, canonically. Ultimately, Shiki the Golden Lion, I think, is a character defined by ambition, resilience, and tragedy. His absence from the current timeline is one of Oda's greatest unresolved mysteries, but it also sets the stage for a spectacular comeback, whether as the man marked by flames or as a key holder of Rocks Zebek's secrets. Shiki's return would undoubtedly have a huge impact on the final saga. Oda's been dropping hints, not only in Chapter 0, but also in Wano, showing us that the old hag at some point, she met with Shiki, and knowing that the old hag, she had affiliation with the Rocks Pirates, things are starting to make more sense. So Oda, is Shiki going to come back? Is he going to be Luffy's ally reluctantly? Is it going to be Luffy's greatest obstacle? Who will Shiki ally with? I mean, I think he's one of the more interesting characters because the chaos that he can bring it would really take One Piece to another level. That's why I'm rooting for it. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about it? Is Shiki going to return? Is this just Oda gassing us up again? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, B.D.A. Follow me on Instagram, B.D.A. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. But either way, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.